Evangelos Marinakis, clearly the one huge subject that's dominated global headlines as well as shipping over the last 3 months has been what the IEA called the greatest energy shock ever, the closure of Hormuz during the Gulf War between the US, Israel, and Iran. Tell us, just to start with, how have your own ships and crews been affected by the current crisis?
Our ships, as far as navigation in and out the straits, have not been affected because we were lucky enough not to have a vessel inside.
Was that from foresight, or was that?
No, it was coincidental that happened that we didn't have a vessel loading or discharging in the area. And that was very fortunate because it has been only rare occasions that you don't have a ship in and out AG, especially our tankers or containers that they always call AG. So we took a decision that we don't want to navigate in and past the straits. So therefore, for us, in case something happens, a casualty, we wouldn't be able to take such a risk. And what is also important is that we're enjoying very good markets. So there is no point when you already make a lot of money from the freights to be tempted to make some more in order to pass the straits and get, let's say, a $5–10 million freight premium in an already very high market. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And for us, to have a casualty, it was something that I wouldn't like even to think about it. Therefore, we said that we're not trading in the area, full stop. Therefore, we haven't been bothered to check exactly what is going on or the extra insurance or whatever, because, as I said, we took a decision for the whole group not to trade.
You will be following, as everybody will be, the ins and outs of trying to come to a long-term final peace agreement. Every day it seems to come closer then fade away again. How are you preparing for the anticipated resolution of the closure of Hormuz, at least?
We're preparing. We have a lot of vessels trading close to AG. Even we trade there with significant discounts in the market because
to leave to position
yes,
them?
to position, to be close, to be 3, 4, 5 days away from other ships are trading in India, other ships are trading in East Africa, or even Singapore area. And we are between 3 to 10 days from AG, so in case we have a peace agreement and after a while the cargo starts moving, we'll be there. So that's the best we can do.
Let me just ask you about the impact on markets of the potential reopening. There is the view that freight markets have now priced in a reopening in as much as they've come off the top, but perhaps haven't yet priced in the restocking question, which could be 1 million barrels a day, which would take, having lost 500 million, 550 million barrels out of the reserves, would take, say, 1.5 years to replenish. Do you think there will be a sort of a medium-term push-up on particularly the crude markets being driven by restocking?
Unfortunately, historically in shipping, when we have great expectations, we face the biggest crisis. So, of course, there is expectation. It's normal because we have a lot of stocks that they are nearly running out, and it's very logical to think that as soon as this treaty is signed, then everybody will rush to restock. My opinion is that okay, there is expectation. We need to be there in the area. But maybe we will not see the freight rates that we have in mind, and it will be something that will be built slowly and conservatively. So, and as I said, we already face a very good market, and I don't think that we will see any crazy numbers that we saw when the war started, either trading in AG or even trading close to the area or in the Red Sea when Saudis start exporting from more cargo from Gembo.
And nobody will want to be restocking at $90, $80 a barrel, will they?
Yeah.
It'll be
But still, I mean, if you think about it, you know, the price of oil at $90 when all this is going on, still, I think that is quite manageable. Okay, it's affecting the economies, but someone would have thought with the Straits being closed now for over 70 days, that would face a barrel price of 120, 130, 140, you know.
What do you see are the long-term implications of the changes to not only markets, but to the politics and control of Hormuz, and even the role of Iran in these markets?
I will tell you, I mean, first of all, I'm not so optimistic for the future for the simple reason.
Could you just hold the mic?
I'm not, you know, overexcited, let's say, of a booming or such a booming of the market, because a lot of things in our life has to do with our habits. So when you get to, you are used to spend a lot, to eat a lot, to do things in a certain way, you get used to it. Now, when you get used to it, to spend less, to consume less energy, it takes time. You know, it's not something that can happen overnight. That's why we need to control our expectations and see that business will be back to normal with a period of time that is needed for stocks to be increased again to a normal level. So that's my opinion.
Do you think that, if not tolls, but certainly some sort of fees to the nations around that region, both Iran and perhaps Oman, are possible in the future?
Again, my opinion is that even if we had to pay for a fee, for me it was much better than to have the straits closed. And also, what we need to calculate is that all these years we pay extra war risks for no war. So if you calculate how much money we have paid so far navigating in and out AG, or even in the Red Sea area without having an actual war, it was better to pay a fee of $100,000 or $200,000, depending on the size of cargo, size of the vessel, and not to have all this hassle. And of course, as you said, this money can pay for all the damage that has happened so far, or can partly paid.
Well, you were fortunate, as you say, not to have any ships in the Gulf. You had a very large IPO just ready to go days before the war kicked off. That must have been quite a nerve-wracking time.
I will tell you, I think that everybody is miscalculating, and I will tell you why. When we did the pricing for our IPO, and it was a record IPO, the biggest in history, etc., and a very good pricing, at that time, you could fix the VLCC at $100,000 a day for a 1 year period. Now, all the last dance is between 115,000 to 120,000. So we see an increase of at least 20%, not in the spot market, but in the period market. And also, the expectation now is far greater than what it was before the war, because before the war, we were thinking that at some time, maybe Americans will bomb Iran, but for a couple of days. This didn't happen. Happened the opposite, that they bombed Iran and we're still fighting, and we don't have a treaty. So what I'm saying is that when we did the pricing, the market was worse than what it is today. And also the expectations were much less than what it is today. So I think that for someone that is preparing an IPO nowadays, the prospects is far greater than what it was at the time. So you might see another record IPO.
Yeah, dear. We'll watch that with interest. One of the two big stories this year has been both the ordering of new buildings in tankers as well as the sale of a lot of second-hand vessels. And in that score, there has been the Sinocor-Aponte alliance trying to corner the VLCC market. Let's come on to that in a moment. But first of all, you committed to very significant tanker new buildings in China at the Hengli yard, which there are a lot of very, very good reports because it's a new and expanding yard. What is your view of the opportunities there and, frankly, the opportunities in the market?
First of all, if you check and analyze the profile of the world crude fleet, you will see that it's the oldest we have in the last 2 decades. So for sure, there is need for new tonnage. The second thing is the dark fleet. There are 850 ships. In my opinion, there are over 1,000. So if you see from the one side the age profile, on the other side the dark fleet, I think that for 26, 27, even 28, we need ships. So in my opinion, if you have a new building program with prompt deliveries, you are well placed. And also don't forget that in our case, we sold a significant amount of second-hand VLCCs in the last 18 months. And of course, it's wise to replace with new ships that they are much more environmental friendly and they consume much less.
What do you think are the chances of some sort of success of the Sinocor-Aponte move to try and take a big stake, clearly not control the market, but clearly have a significant slice of a market that's traditionally been really quite atomized?
In my opinion, it was a very clever move. And there is no many business around that you can corner a market that is responsible, let's say, for 80% of the transportation of energy to China. Because all of us, if we make a quick analysis and we estimate how much cost all the VLCCs that are trading nowadays, I made a quick calculation, is about 60 billion. So it's not such a great, and this includes the dark fleet. So with 10 billion, you can corner this market. And there is no many business that you can do at this size with such amount of money. So in my opinion, it was a brilliant move. The only thing is how they will manage to trade the vessels from now on. And I repeat that it was a very clever move. And for someone who has a lot of cash and has taken advantage of a different market like container market, the liner market, I think that it was a very clever move.
You were one of the major players in getting the optionality of LNG dual fuel in many ships. When we spoke a year ago in Oslo, you said that unfortunately the market really wasn't yet there to support the burning of such fuel. Obviously, gas is more expensive, as are traditional bunkers. How are you viewing that optionality today, a year on? Do you still believe it was a good strategic positioning?
Still is not paid.
Okay.
And maybe for a few more years will not be paid. But in the long term, I think that when the gas prices will be low enough, it will make it worthwhile. And of course, we reduce emissions by a percentage, so you can have both advantages, but the main advantage, I think, will be for the price of gas.
You have spoken out on a very practical element of the handling of the dark fleet in the past, the need for some sort of window of sanctioned vessels to enable their scrapping. There is a glimmer with a transaction in the States that the US authorities are starting down that line. Do you think that is a policy and an agenda that needs to be pursued and can be positive for the broader industry?
I mean, I was one of the first ones to campaign about it. Some people disagreed. They thought that if you allow a vessel of dark fleet to be scrapped and the owner to receive the money, that you are helping the owner, which I think that it's something that doesn't make any sense, because as I said yesterday, if you calculate what is the price of to scrap a vessel, which is let's say about $500, $550, depends per lightweight. If you scrap an MR tanker, or if you scrap an Aframax, or even a Suezmax, we're talking about $5 to $15 million to receive per ship. So this money is less than what these owners are making for one single trip. So in reality, you are not helping them. We are helping ourselves to get rid of the dark fleet. And I think that if they have this incentive to be able to sell vessels with, let's say, a deadline of the next 3-4 months, in my opinion, we will see a 20% at least reduction in the dark fleet. And I think that this is the only way forward. So I would like to see not only permission for 4 vessels, but permission for 400 vessels. Yeah.
At the opening of Posidonia yesterday, it was very interesting to hear the Greek European Commissioner and your Prime Minister, in fact, speak about the importance of Greek shipping to Europe as part of Europe's industrial base and heritage, and that they needed to be supported and encouraged and built and treated well. This, again, is an issue that you have spoken out in the past. Certainly your fears for Europe's industrial heartland, the cost of energy, its ability to manufacture goods. Do you believe that there is a possibility of a shift in the political agenda to be supporting Europe's industrial base in the future?
I think that, as I had said in the past, and again, many people disagreed, and I said that the sanctions imposed by the European Union for Russian oil are completely wrong. And they are not harming the Putin administration, they are harming the European consumer. Why? European countries are not allowed to buy Russian oil. And we have the Indians, the Chinese, the Saudis buying oil at significant discounts, and then we go, Europeans, to their refineries, buying the product at sky-high price. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. if they want to impose serious sanctions, they should blockade any shipment from Russia to the rest of the world. This is a proper sanction. If the sanctions is only apply for half of the world or only Europe, we penalize ourselves. It's as simple as that.
Do you see any point in these small-scale seizure of vessels, the occasional tanker? Does that have any material deterrence effect, do you feel, on the dark fleet?
The thing is that how we can afford to let dark fleet operate next to our islands, to our coastline in Greece, in Italy, in Spain, in France, and take such environmental risk with ships, with no maintenance, with unskilled, completely unskilled crew, no insurance, and we let them navigate and pass, let's say, 10 miles away from our homes, from our seaside, etc., all over Europe. And we do nothing as far as the governments are concerned. And, because you said something about the Prime Minister and yesterday's speech, I think that what you see here today, a lot of representatives of shipping around the world, and of course a lot from Greece. And you see that Greece is a very small country, poor country, I can describe it, but they are doing all these miracles in shipping. Why? Because there is no government intervention. So we compete all around the world with freedom, and we have achieved what we are discussing every day. So wherever the government is far away, we are overperforming. Where you see that the government is interfering, you see that there is a big problem. So it's as simple as that.
Obviously, to everyone in this room, you're principally known as a ship owner and decision maker. Probably to most people outside this room, you're more known as a sports club owner, particularly Olympiacos and Nottingham Forest. And I always like to delve into the interests of our speakers. One specific one about Nottingham Forest. Your star midfielder, Morgan Gibbs-White, scored 15 goals for Nottingham Forest this season, had a fantastic season. Forest avoided relegation, but he didn't get chosen for the England World Cup team, which kicks off in a couple of weeks. Is that a disappointment to you, or is that a relief that he'll be fit at the start of next season?
For me, personally, it's not a disappointment. And also for Nottingham Forest, it's not a disappointment because, the players that they have played so far this season, together with the European matches and cup matches, over 65 games. It's too much. So we prefer to have players that they are already on holidays and they will be well prepared to start the new season. But as far as England is concerned, it doesn't make any sense to have your most successful number 10 out of the team.
More seriously, has your experience either in shipping or with the football taught you any lessons about risk and resilience that you've then incorporated into your thinking in the other side? Say from shipping, has your view of shipping and the need to read markets and...
I think that this is good for my son that is involved with Nottingham Forest all these years. So he has negotiated a lot of players and football is not the easiest sport to deal with players, agents, UEFA, Premier League, all these things. So I think that for him is a good preparation to be involved in shipping and helps a lot.
and lastly, a personal question, well, a personal suggestion. As you know, I'm a Coventry City fan. man and boy. And of course, Coventry were promoted after over 20 years back up to the Premiership. So are you anticipating with great happiness the opportunity to play Coventry next season with Forest?
Why not? I mean, we look forward to play against all teams. And
have you met Doug King, the owner of Coventry?
No.
Very interesting. He's a commodities trader.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You should get in touch.
That's good. So,
Evangelos,
what is the conclusion?
Well, are you happy? Are you excited about the opportunity to play Coventry? Let's wrap it up there.
No, we are very excited, but I think that just to finalize with our shipping discussion, I think that we need to be optimistic, not because we are involved in shipping and we build a number of ships and we have a significant size in 9 different sectors. But I think that what is going on in the past years with all these geopolitical events that at the end of the day help our industry to develop more and to be much more important in the world than ever before. So I think that it is the right time for owners, governments, where they need the energy efficiency and the energy security to be able to develop further the relationship with owners and for us to be there whenever is needed to transport energy and to transport all the materials that we need for our daily lives. And I think this is very important. The role of shipping worldwide has been very important and more important than ever before. And that's why we need to feel much more responsible for what we do and to try to perform as best as possible.
Evangelos Marinakis, many thanks indeed for your time today.